Welcome students. I am Shubham Goyal and I'm gonna teach you about association rule learning in machine learning. This is the part 2 of second lecture in association rule learning lecture series. In this part, the remaining topics of rule construction from frequent item set is discussed in detail. Okay. Now next one is rule generation. We have generated the item sets. We know about the frequent item sets. Now our task is to construct the rules based on these frequent item sets. The rules are formed by the binary partition of the frequent item sets. That means you have to binary partition the frequent item sets, like we have bread, egg and milk, butter, that can be partitioned to get the rules like milk and bread implies to butter and egg. Now, bread and egg implies to milk and butter, depending on the number of partitions we have performed. Okay. Now, after getting this, generate all list of possible candidates from a frequent item set. That means you have to generate all the possible candidates that can be formed from the binary partition of that frequent item set. Next, for each candidate rule, calculate the confidence value. So you will take every rule one by one and calculate the confidence value. Okay. Now, if the confidence corresponding to a rule is greater than the predefined minimum confidence, that is means CONF, only then the rule is considered for inference making, otherwise discarded. So if your rule having minimum confidence value that is greater than means CONF, only then it is considered further analysis, otherwise it is discarded. So you have to repeat this step 2 to 4 for all the frequent item sets. Okay. Now, there are some important facts for generating rules by a priori algorithm. First of all, similarly to support, confidence of rules corresponding to the same items and follows the anti-monotone property. And why we require this property? Because we know that number of rules generated using a frequent item sets can also be very large. So here the a priori algorithm rescue us by the property of anti-monotone from for confidence. So here the number of elements in a consequent part form the basis of anti-monotone property. So here how anti-monotone property is applied on the basis of number of elements in your consequent part of your rule. As in support, we have talk about the subsets. Now here the number of element in the consequent will help us to apply the anti-monotone property and discard some rules. Okay. So what the property says us that now, first of all, the mean confidence for bread, milk, butter, and egg. This is the our item set, that is frequent item set. But you can see that you have considered one rule based on this, that with a single instance in consequent, that is bread, butter, milk, and egg, have some confidence value. Now, what we have done in next step, that we have increased the size of consequent by 1. Here bread and egg, butter and milk. Now again increase the size by 1. So what anti-monotone property says, that the rule having one consequent for a frequent item set have confidence more than the rule having the 2, that will also have the more value than the 3. Okay. So this rule helps us in a more better way. Okay. Now the confidence, we have all know that how we calculated the confidence, as I already told you in the previous lecture, that transaction containing both x and y and transaction containing both only x. Okay. So or you can also say that confidence x implies y is support of both x and y and the support of x. Whenever you solve this rule, it will also equivalent to the transaction, because number of transactions, total number of transactions will be cancelled from both numerator and the denominator. So it can also be said that support of xy divided by the support of x. So the support of xy, so what we want to say here, that the support of xy in the numerator for every rule, because every rule is constructed from the same frequent item set, so the support of both x and y will remain same for every rule generated from that frequent item set. But in every case, we know that we are changing the denominator by changing the number of element in the consequent. or by swapping the number of elements depending on the transaction. Okay, so in every case the denominator is changing. So based upon the value of denominator we are getting the confidence value. Like, let me show you the previous slide again. Here we have seen that here in the denominator we have know that the support of this x is in the denominator. Now what will happen is now when this bread, butter and milk are, let's suppose there is one rule, this one and this one. Now here we know that their bread, butter, milk will have some amount of transactions in the data set, but the chance of butter and milk to be present in the transaction are more than the bread, butter and milk. Means that means transaction corresponding to bread and milk will be butter and milk will be more than the number of transactions with bread, butter and milk according to the anti-monotone property of support. That means here whenever follow the anti-monotone property of support, that bread, butter and milk will have some transaction, but we have known that anti-monotone property says that any subset will have either more or the same value of support. So if you drop a single item from it, then the support will increase. So the increase in support for two roles with same numerator value will decrease the confidence value for the second rule. So for rule 1 we'll have confidence more, and the rule 2 the confidence will be less. So this will help us to decide the associations of the rules or the strength of the rules. These are some steps that you have to follow in a priori rule generation process. Initialize the rule generation process corresponding to the frequent item set, that is, let's say ABCD, just one element in the consequent. First you have to initialize with only one element in the consequent part, then perform the pruning if rule fails to comply the minimum confidence condition, that is mean CONF. So if your rule which you have constructed on the based of one consequent in your one element in your consequent, then if your confidence level is not greater than the mean CONF, then you can prune the rule or you can discard the rule. Now keep on increasing the size of consequent for remaining partition of the item set and perform the pruning. Okay. Next, repeat the step until we are left with only one element in the antecedent part. Okay, let me explain with the help of example. First, this value is very crucial means CONF, so it select it very carefully. Okay, so let's understand the pruning of rules with the help of one example. So what we have done here is that we know that our ABCD is the frequent item set. So according to the steps, what we have done is, first of all, we have taken one element in the consequent. Let's suppose here A is the consequent single element, B, C, and D. Okay, one by one. So after getting this, we have to calculate the confidence of these all rules, and we find out that the confidence of BCD implies A is less than the minimum CNF. Okay, so we say that any rule formed from this by moving or by increasing the element in the consequent or by moving the antecedent element to the consequent will all be discarded, and will all be discarded as all will have value greater than, will not have value greater than minimum CONF, as the anti-monotone property says. So we know that the element in single will have more confidence when the element having two elements are consequent. So if this is failing your criteria, then otherwise others will also follow the same criteria by not getting the minimum confidence value. So these all rules can be pruned. So with the remaining rules you can increase the value of the consequent by 1 to get it 2, or similarly by getting 3. So these all rules can be considered for further analysis or inference making. The steps by step mathematical example to show the working of a priori algorithm will be solved and explained in the next lecture in this lecture series. So here are the some of the topics or points that we have discussed today. Why a priori algorithm is required. Second, working of a priori algorithm. What are frequent items and generations, and how The association rules are generated from the frequent item sets. Now, infrequent item set pruning, and the pruning of less informative rules or the rules which fails to follow the minimum. Thank you, student, for watching the lecture video. Do watch and understand the remaining lectures in the association learning lecture series. Thank you once again. Thank you, students.